Now, this is a two-part reel. The title of the tune is Farewell to Ireland. Now,
We were looking earlier at where and when you learn, but what about how you learn?
now you play that.
How you learn has more to do with your own preferred style of learning. The main styles are visual, where you prefer learning by looking, auditory, we prefer learning by listening, or kinesthetic, where you prefer learning by doing, or hands-on experience.
Now you play that piece.
Everyone is a mix of these styles, but we do have a leaning towards one style more than the others.
Yeah, lovely. We'll do it together.
Of course, just because you tend to favour one style of learning, this doesn't mean that you can use this style for everything you learn. You'll often need to combine different styles of learning to be successful. Sometimes it's possible to learn the same thing using different learning styles. For instance, people who've learned to play a piece of music often talk about the different ways they've learned that skill. Say you decide you want to learn to play music. You could learn quite a bit by listening to instructors, reading books or watching videos. But to get really good at it, you're going to have to get stuck in and actually play it. Auditory and visual learning helped George, this week's learner, to learn martial arts, but it was the kinesthetic learning that made him good at it. In other words, it was the combination of the three styles, with learning by doing being the most important. But there's no right or wrong way to learn something. Whatever works best for you is the right way.
As Terry has just told us, George used all three learning styles to learn karate. Being aware of these styles has helped him teach his weekly classes in Ballyfermot.
Stop dead. I started karate at a later age in life, at 20 years of age, and I got to enjoy it so much that I was interested in doing it a little bit further after I got my black belt. So there was an opening for the club here in Lower Cherry Orchard in Ballyfermot, so I've been running down here now for the last 19, 20 years. My Gary, half step. Surely, Gary. Black and Yakuzuki. Nice and slow, don't race it. Teaching, I love teaching and seeing kids, and from youngsters from say 5 years of age up to 10, 12, up to 16, the juniors coming into it, starting off, getting into it, getting graded, going out to competitions, championships, winning, taking home medals, seeing the smile on their faces.
Now what we're going to do is the key-ons, black belts, brown belts and purple key-ons. And Jay and Gavin are going to demonstrate with the flexibility of the kicks and the strength of the punches.
It has given me more discipline myself, that I'm able to sit down and relax myself and compose myself when I'm doing any reading or writing, or instead of just losing, I can't do this, I can compose myself, listen George, you can't do this, you can't get it together. Where before, that I might be panicking, you know, with the karate and the discipline has given me that sit down, relax, calm. You can do this, look at it, think about it, and then just get stuck in. I've been breeding the parrots now a couple of years. Before that, I used to breed the lovebirds. I bred lovebirds for 7 years and budgies and a couple of finches. So I've moved on up now to the bigger birds in the last 2 years, which is the African ringnecks and the Senegal parrots. Well, return to education when I went back to do the writing and spelling. I also did a lot of reading as well, more reading, and how not to be worried on words in the reading. And it encouraged me then to get more books on the boards and look in a bit deeper into it, into the breeding and the condition of the boards. So it's given me the confidence to go out, get a board, a book on breeding, condition of the boards, and gives me a better insight into what I'm doing. I have a certain feed now that I'm putting them all. There's vitamins, carrots, sunflower seeds, peanuts, cherries, and there's also a soft fruit in here. I was always happy, like life is just be happy, but because I've gone back to the education, I'm even happier now because I'm getting a lot more out of it. I'm seeing a lot more of things, reading a lot more, and not afraid to do things now anymore, you know, go out there and do things where once I used to hide behind things, now I don't hide behind. Take up that book, look, read. If I need to know something, read about it and go out and do it. Oh yeah, happier, I'm always happy. As an adult, going back to adult learning through the local authority, South Dublin County Council, who I'm employed with, it's been great. It's opened my eyes and has helped me an awful lot and benefited me an awful lot with my life, my work, my hobbies. Going back to adult education has made me more hungry, has made me want to get more, and hope I can further the best I can.
I don't know about all this karate. It looks too difficult for me. When I was a kid, I did judo, and I didn't even get to the first belt. Now, when I want to relax, I get a newspaper and I tackle the odd word puzzle. And you know, the more you do them, the easier they become. Now, I wonder what a doublet is.
George talks about his hobbies, martial arts and breeding birds. Sometimes people play word games as another enjoyable hobby. Some examples of word games and puzzles are Scrabble, crosswords and word searches. Many newspapers contain crosswords and puzzles, but you can also buy board games and puzzle books. One word game that's easy to play is called doublets. For this, all you need is paper and a pen. Think of two words that have the same number of letters in each, like cap and hat. Then write them underneath each other like this, leaving some space between them. The idea of the game is to change this word to this word by changing one letter at a time. So if you change the P to a T, you get cat. Next you change the C to an H to get hat. Remember that the words you change during these steps must be real words. In this game, you changed one word to the other in only 2 steps, but it might take you longer. Now let's try to change the word tea to bag and see how many steps this takes. So the word tea becomes pea, then we get peg, beg, and finally bag. For this pair, it took 4 steps. Remember, you can find word games in bookshops, in newspapers, and even on the internet. Improving your reading and writing doesn't have to be boring.
This week we looked at how learning can help to make your life more enjoyable and how learning doesn't always have to be hard work. Sometimes it can be fun. And one way of improving your reading and writing is learning to spell common word endings.
This week, we looked at how to spell the shun sound at the end of words. We saw that while there are different ways to spell this sound, it's often possible to remember what a word looks like when it's written and then use this mental picture to help you choose the correct spelling.
Terry also explained to us how we learn by using some musicians from a Flacciol in Clonmel.
This week, we looked at ways of learning, where, when and how we learn. Where and when you learn is up to you, and there are plenty of choices available at VEC adult education centres around the country. How do you learn? Have you figured out what your preferred style of learning is? Are you a looker, a listener, or a hands-on person? Knowing which style you prefer will help you to plan and organise your learning and make you a more effective learner.
We also met George, whose work motivated him to go back to education, but now finds all sorts of ways to take advantage of his newfound reading and writing skills.
My return to education has helped me an awful lot in my job, my living, my sport, and everything has lifted me up compared to where I used to be at just a level. Now I've come up to the next level and I'm going to go on further and further.
Using a thesaurus is a bit like using a dictionary because the words are listed in alphabetical order. A thesaurus is a book that lists groups of words that mean the same thing. It'll help to make your writing more interesting. All it takes is a little practice. Another way of improving your vocabulary is to use word puzzles such as doublets, where you have to change one letter at a time to make a new word. Playing any game which involves words and having fun is a good way to improve your reading and writing.
Don't forget, you'll be able to practice everything we've covered in today's programme and a lot more if you turn to Chapter 7 of the Read Write Now workbook. To get yourself a free copy, simply call 1800 20 20 65. The lines are open right now. Next week, we'll meet Aileen from Tullamore. Ian is going to be in the Natural History Museum talking to us about memory, and we'll have a selection of learning points about reading instructions, how to use comparatives and superlatives, and finding out how words get into the dictionary. So until then, goodbye.